Trump's 2025 trade war, what it means for the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. President Trump's 2025 trade offensive, a detailed breakdown. In the early hours of March 4th, 2025, President Donald Trump unleashed a sweeping trade offensive against Canada, Mexico, and China. Overnight, he imposed a 25% tariff on all Canadian and Mexican imports and doubled China's existing 10% tariff to 20%. His message was blunt. If companies move production to the United States, there are no tariffs. Yet beneath the harsh rhetoric lies a complex web of economic consequences, diplomatic tensions, and domestic policy aims. Here's what you need to know. What a 25% tariff really means. A 25% levy on imported goods doesn't simply puncture profit margins. It ultimately lands squarely on American consumers. Every pallet of steel, every crate of lumber, every shipment of auto parts, pharmaceuticals, wheat, pork, beef, and minerals from Canada or Mexico now carries an extra quarter tax. Consider Honda's Alliston, Ontario plant, which cranks out roughly 400,000 vehicles a year. The Honda CR-V, previously priced for Americans at about $35,000, would face an $8,750 tariff, potentially hiking the sticker price to $43,750. Multiply that across countless products, and the inflationary effect becomes impossible to ignore. The administration's quick concessions. Within 24 hours of the announcement, the White House offered a partial reprieve, a one-month delay on tariffs, but only for North American-built vehicles by GM, Ford, and Stellantis, the parent of Chrysler. The next day, the delay extended to all treaty-protected goods from Canada and Mexico. Still, roughly half of those imports remain slapped with the full 25% duty. These half measures do little to soften the blow for most businesses and consumers already bracing for higher prices. Cited justification: curbing the fentanyl flow. President Trump framed these tariffs as a national security measure. We must choke the flow of fentanyl across our borders. He pointed to 2024's coastline seizure of 21,889 pounds of fentanyl. Yet only 43 pounds, a mere 0.2%, were intercepted at the Canadian border. 97% came via Mexico. Canada did respond, pledging a $1.3 billion security initiative, complete with additional border personnel, surveillance drones, and a newly appointed fentanyl czar. Mexico deployed 10,000 soldiers to its own border. These moves, coupled with tougher U.S. enforcement, drove illegal crossings down from 189,913 in February 2024 to 8,326 in February 2025. Despite these strides, the tariffs remain. That tells us Trump's objectives go beyond drug interdiction. The true aim? Reshoring American manufacturing. In blunt social media posts, Trump declared, if companies move to the United States, Reuters reports Honda will now build its next-generation Civic Hybrid in Indiana rather than Guanajuato, Mexico. Proponents argue that strengthening domestic supply chains, an urgency laid bare by the COVID-19 pandemic, will insulate the U.S. economy against future global disruptions. Canada's response: tit-for-tat tariffs. Trump even joked that Canada should become the 51st state and repeatedly dubbed Prime Minister Justin Trudeau Governor Trudeau. Unsurprisingly, Canada retaliated, imposing 25% tariffs on $155 billion of U.S. exports. That means everyday items, toilet paper, 87% of which Canada imports from the U.S., oranges, lettuce, berries, Doritos, and Oreos will cost Canadians more. Politically, Prime Minister Trudeau remains vulnerable, but the backlash shows no sign of relenting. Chrystia Freeland, a leading contender for Canada's Liberal Party leadership, has vowed to slap 100% tariffs on Tesla imports in response to U.S. measures. Meanwhile, many Canadian businesses have begun proudly marking products made in Canada